All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Now I was trying to decide if she wants her reading treat or not. I think she's got it. Okay.
Well,
It
that's
is.
a nighttime treat, not a morning treat.
Yeah, that's
She knows
right.
the difference.
Yeah. It is Monday.
It is.
All right, today.
Please continue to remember the prayer bucket that we do at Friday.
Yep.
We've got some prayer requests in it that's needing some intercession, so please remember them.
Today is part 2 of God's selection of Israel. Romans chapter 9, starting at verse 16. So it is God who decides to show mercy. We can neither choose it nor work for it. For the scriptures say that God told Pharaoh, I have appointed you for the very purpose of displaying my power in you and to spread my fame throughout the earth. So you see, God chooses to show mercy to some, and he chooses to harden the hearts of others so they refuse to listen. Well then, you might say, why does God blame people for not responding? Haven't they simply done what he makes them do? No, don't say that. Who are you, a mere human being, to argue with God? Should the thing that was created say to the one who created it, why have you made me like this? When a potter makes jars out of clay, doesn't he have the right to use the same lump of clay to make one jar for decoration and another to throw garbage into? In the same way, even though God has the right to show his anger and his power, he is very patient with those on whom his anger falls, who are destined for destruction. He does this to make the riches of his glory shine even brighter on those to whom he shows mercy, who were prepared in advance for glory. And we are among those whom he selected, both from the Jews and from the Gentiles. Concerning the Gentiles, God said in the prophecy of Hosea, those who were not my people I will call my people, and I will love those whom I did not love before. And then the place where they were told, you are not my people, there they will be called children of the living God. And concerning Israel, Isaiah the prophet cried out, though the people of Israel are as numerous as the sand of the seashore, only a remnant will be saved. For the Lord will carry out his sentence upon the earth quickly and with finality. And Isaiah said the same thing in another place. If the Lord of heaven's armies had not spared a few of our children, we would have been wiped out like Sodom, destroyed like Gomorrah. Now a commentary. The fallacy of gaining salvation by human effort remains as strong as ever. People still think good intentions are the key to unlock the door to eternal life. But by the time they get to try the lock, they will find that their key does not fit. Others imagine that their efforts are building an invisible ladder to heaven made up of service, family, position, reputation, good work, and desire, although none of these rungs will support a feather. People are so busy trying to reach God that they completely miss the truth that God has already reached down to them. We cannot earn God's mercy. If we could, it would not be mercy. Paul quotes from Exodus chapter 9, verse 16, where God foretold how Pharaoh would be used to declare God's power. Paul uses his argument to show that salvation is God's work, not people's. God's judgment on Pharaoh's choice to resist God was to confirm that sin had hardened his heart. The consequences of Pharaoh's rebellion would be his own punishment. With this illustration, Paul is not saying that some of us are worth more than others, but that the Creator has control over the created object. The created object, therefore, has no right to demand anything from its Creator. Its very existence depends on Him. Keeping this perspective removes any temptation to have pride in personal achievement. About 700 years before Jesus' birth, Hosea told of God's intention to restore his people. Paul applies Hosea's message to God's intention to bring Gentiles into his family after the Jews rejected his plan. Romans chapter 9, verse 25 is a quotation from Hosea chapter 2, verse 23. And Romans chapter 9, verse 26 is from Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Isaiah prophesied that only a small number of God's original people, the Jews would be saved. Paul saw this happening in every city where he preached. Even though he went to the Jews first, relatively few ever accepted the message. Romans chapter 9 verse 27 and 28 are based on Isaiah chapter 10 verse 22 and 23. Romans chapter 9 verse 29 is from Isaiah chapter 1 verse 9.
It's hard to accept that it's so easy.
Yeah.
And people want to put the human work ethic into it to make themselves feel good that they had a part in it.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing we can do to measure up.
No, there really isn't.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if it were just as easy, not easy because it's impossible to do,
Right.
but if it were just as easy to follow the Torah as the Jews did, then, right, it would be no big deal. But they themselves can't even do it. They, as hard as they try, you know, and they have sacrifices that used to be made, you know, to atone for the things of their shortcomings.
The law proves to us how impossible it is for humans to do any action
Yeah.
to get
Right.
to God. I mean, the law is there to prove us that it's impossible.
Yeah.
The only way is through Christ.
Right. There's just nothing we can, you know, as someday somebody's going to stand in front of God after, you know, either their death or we get caught up with Christ, is to stand there in front of God and say, well, look, here's what I did. I did this, that, and your other thing. And God's going to say, okay, that's fine.
But I never knew.
I'm going to show you all the other things you did.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to rush back into your mind. You're going to go, oh, well,
Right.
you know.
And you know, yes, we'll all have to account for what we've done and not done.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah.
the thing that we will do.
Yeah.
But the difference would be is if you're known by Christ or not known by Christ.
Yeah.
Would determine our end result.
Yeah.
You know.
You think of it as, you know, having Jesus as your lawyer to say, to tell, because that's what he, basically that's what he is.
That's a good explanation.
He is our advocate, right?
Yeah.
He's at the right hand interceding for us at all times. And so if you're standing in front of the judge and you're going to be your own lawyer, we all know even here in our own human thing, it's never a good idea to go to court without and be your own lawyer, right? You need somebody else that's to help you. And that's what Jesus is. He will be there to say, look, I've already paid for all this.
Yeah.
None of this matters anymore. No matter what the devil over there says, he can accuse all he wants, but
yeah, they did it, but I've already paid the debt.
It's already been judged, and
I've already done the punishment.
I've already taken it. It's all done already. And this person here that's next to me has already confirmed that, or affirmed that, and so that's done. And then the next phase is, okay, well, this is what you have done. You brought, you gave this poor person a dollar or whatever. So then you get rewards for that, but your punishment is not there.
Right. That's it. And the person who doesn't know Christ is trying to self-represent.
Yeah.
with no help from.
With no help, and he's going to say, well, look, I did this, that, and the other thing, and again, God's going to open your mind and say, okay, well.
Yeah.
If you want to go down that road, here's where we're going to go. And you're going to see everything you've done, all of your lifetime of things you've done wrong. And he's going to point it out, and you're going to be dumbfounded going, yeah, well, I can't argue with that. You're right.
Yeah.
And I got no excuse. And there you are. Okay. Hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.